Hi, we're Roxanne and Len, a Canadian retired couple traveling and exploring the world, sharing our experiences with you. In today's video, we'll be showing you the highlights of 3 sites we saw in Niš, Serbia: the Skull Tower, a World War II concentration camp, and Bubanj Memorial Park. Stay tuned to the end of the video where we'll provide more information and details about these important sites in Niš that you don't want to miss. Hey everybody, it's Roxanne and Len joining you from Niš. We're standing outside the Nazi concentration camp from World War II. This is what appears to be the entrance to the concentration camp. I'm actually getting chills down my back as I walk in here. The building over there, we were told, was this building here, this building here, and this building here. When it was a concentration camp, was the buildings for the German military, and this building over here was the prisoner building, in which there's a museum with exhibits. And on the far side, we'll go over there in a little while, is a memorial with flowers and wreaths. Guard tower overlooking the yard. And a guard tower in the far corner. going to go in and have a look in the museum. There's 3 levels. We've come up to Bubanj Memorial Park. It's unfortunate that the sign here is littered with graffiti. That is our path in. Roxanne is up ahead of me. And this is some information about this place. It was a place during the Second World War from 1942 to 1944 where Serbians, Jews, and other people were brought by the Nazis and executed. And because the Germans destroyed all records and burned the bodies, they don't know how many people were killed at this site, but they estimate in the range of 10 to 15,000 people. And they created a monument which is 3 fists protruding into the sky that represent the resistance of the men, women, and children to the atrocities that happened here. This is a place with a very dark history, and I literally have chills in my back right now as I'm walking. This part of the park is peaceful, but yet chilling. It's a beautiful walkway here, but it's very upsetting to think about what happened here. Here we're coming up to the monuments on the right. And here's a bronze miniature image. This part of the monument is dated 1941 to 1944. And this monument is an image of German soldiers executing people. In a firing squad, it looks like. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. We are just ending going to tell you about what we've been viewing over the past couple days. We've seen some 3 somber sites here in Niš over the past few days, and we just wanted to check in with you and tell you about our experience with these sites. The first site we saw was the Skull Tower, which it's currently a monument, but that's not what it originally was. The Skull Tower is a tower that was built following a really brutal battle between the Serbians and the Turk Ottomans in, I believe, 1809. And the Serbs had lost that battle, and at that point, I believe the Ottomans had conquered Niš, and it had become part of the Ottoman Empire. And what the Turks did as retaliation for the Serbian resistance was that they built a tower that was built with the skulls of the heads of 952 of the Serbian soldiers, and they built it at the outskirts of Niš at the time on Constantinople Road, to both as retaliation against the Serbs and also to instill fear into the population to prevent further ideas of rebellion against their empire. So we went to see that, and it was a very somber place.
There's only, 58 skulls remaining?
58 skulls remaining, and in the early 1900s, I believe it was, they said they built a chapel, a church around it to enclose it and protect it as a monument. That was a worthwhile thing to...
It's a really quick little tour.
Yeah.
It's just a big square monument with skulls cemented in, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And it's behind plexiglass, so you can't be touching the skulls. But it's still a piece of Niš's history,
yeah,
and it's an important piece, so we felt it important to see it.
And there's signage there to tell you the history and
the story that goes with it. Yeah,
so,
it was good. It was worth the trip.
And it was a minor cost. It was 300 dinar
yeah,
per person to see that, but that's just a few dollars.
Yeah, under $300 or $3 Canadian, above $2.50. So it was really inexpensive. So from there we went to the concentration camp.
Yes, we went to see what's currently, it's called the Red Cross concentration camp. And the reason it's called the Red Cross is actually, as explained to us by the woman at the camp museum, she said it originally was used as a Red Cross building or facility previous to World War II, and during World War II, when it was taken over by Germany, the Nazis, they just unofficially adopted the name as the Red Cross concentration camp. Well, I don't think the Germans called it a concentration camp, but it was unofficially called the Red Cross concentration camp. and we went to see that, and that was a very somber,
super somber
experience, and
it was very hard.
Yeah,
it was very hard. The museum has got 3 floors, and that's where the Jewish people were held, and then across the yard were the soldiers. It's a huge building it's hard. I can't even speak about it. It's just difficult.
Big open area, and it's walled in with guard towers on the 2 corners, or maybe there was guard towers on the other corners, but they weren't there at this time. But it was a very brutal sight to see. And
the wall at the back of the camp still had like the bullet holes from where
there was executions.
They were executed.
And it sounds like the first executions at that camp started following a successful prison break on February 12th, 1942, I think it was. There was an escape of 105. 105 managed to escape, but there was over 40 killed in the break, and only 1 German soldier was killed. But many were executed as retaliation for the prisoners having made a break.
They did a very good job of the museum. Lots of artifacts.
Yeah.
Even though the Nazis had burned down most of the stuff there.
When they left, they burned the records and destroyed records. And all the prisoners, or all the people that they had executed, they burned their bodies, and so unfortunately, there's a lot unknown about what happened, and they've gone on survivors' reports and so on, and tried to piece things together as to what happened there. But it was
again worthwhile.
Yeah,
it was very hard. Like I think we were there for an hour and a half, 2 hours. It felt like a long time. It's a hard place to go through, especially the 3rd floor where they had the jails.
Yeah, in the building where the prisoners had been kept, the first 2 floors were exhibits with signage, and then the 3rd floor was where it just hit you like a brick wall.
Yeah.
You went up to the 3rd floor, which is where the cells were, and that was just...
it was hard. It was very hard.
It was kind of... Yeah, it was hard seeing those cells and imagining
individuals in them.
Yeah.
But again, that experience, that was about 300 dinar again.
Yeah.
So about under $3. So well worth the money spent.
Yeah.
And then, which leads us to where we are now.
And the last place we came was a place called Bubanj, or Bubanj.
We don't know how to
Memorial
say
Park.
it, so forgive us.
It's spelled Bubanj, Memorial Park, and you can probably see behind us, there's a memorial here of 3 concrete or stone fists reaching into the sky, and that's to represent the resistance of the men, women, and children to the atrocities that happened at this place, which is a place where the Nazis brought, they estimate, 10 to 15,000 people from Nice and Serbia and all around, and they were basically executed here. But they don't have, nobody knows the actual count because, as we said, records have been destroyed. And so they've built this
Monument.
huge monument here to represent, the fists are to represent the resistance to the atrocities that happened here. It's a very somber, beautiful, but somber place.
I think it's a beautiful place. I think they did an amazing job with this area.
Yeah.
I think they did. The monuments are beautiful. So, but yeah, it kind of bummed us out over the last couple of days, especially because yesterday when we saw the Skull Tower and the concentration camp, it was very, very cold and snowing, and we were frozen and grumpy by the end of it and very bummed out after what we saw. So today it was sunny and we had to come and see this. So it was, to me, it's just hope,
Yeah.
remembering. So
I was going to comment, in a way, I wanted to see these sites, and in a way I didn't, and I realized really, I think it's good that we and other people maybe see these sites, because the reality is that if we don't want things like this to happen again, and they are happening in different countries across the world, people should really see these things and be aware of them, and in the hope that history doesn't repeat. By knowing history and knowing the atrocities of history, I think we're more likely not to have that repeat than for us to say, well, that's a bummer, I don't want to go see that. But I think it's a stop well worth making if you're in Nice and you're able to come and see these sites. Anyway,
we just wanted to touch base on the last couple of things that we've done here in Nice. It's a beautiful, beautiful city.
Yeah.
But that's why we thought we'll do these 3 hard things and then enjoy the rest of the city. So on that note, we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Thanks.
Enjoyed this video? Please hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up like button. If you'd like to be notified of upcoming videos and when they come out, then also click on the bell button. Thanks for watching. See you next time.